Hey, Juju, I'm asking you to think back to your rookie year in training camp, and Hines Ward was there and coaching you a little bit. What did you take from that, number one? And number two is, do you somehow base your game off of a little bit of what he was able to do with the physicality?
One of Hines Ward's favorite routes was to run like a choice route, kind of like the middle read of the field, work in the middle of the field. And that's something I, took in the passion that, if I can master that to the point where I can, be the best I can be at that, for our team, getting, the spot routes, spot balls, and just getting the first down within 4 yards. And that's something I took from him. And obviously, the physicalness is something I've always had in myself. And, Hines was a physical guy. And that being said, yeah, so those are like the two main things that I took, from Hines Ward at the time, seeing with the training camp.
All right, next up, Ray Fittipaldo, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Juju, in terms of the red zone offense, what kind of a difference does it make having Ben back this year and just playing with him for 4 years now? What makes him so special down there?
I mean, it's just for him, it's more so of him, the vet, the captain in him. Obviously he's been there before, and now he has so many weapons that he can use in the red zone. Between Ebron, between me, James, Deontay, Chase, basically all our wide receivers and even the running backs, spreading them out wide, 5 wides, going into the red zone. So like I said, he has so many weapons, and he just gets the job done. Obviously you can see the percentage this year. So yeah.
Next up, Dale Lawley, Pittsburgh Sports.
Juju, you just went through that entire group of receivers there, and it's obviously a very deep group and talented group. If you were an opposing defensive coordinator, how would you try to defend you guys?
I don't know. That's tough. But we haven't been stopped yet. So it's tough. I mean, you can play man-to-man across the board, but Ben's going to put us in the best situation where we can get the ball. You can play zone. We're going to play on spot, the drop balls, spot balls. We're going to sit in those zones. So it's going to be tough. You just I don't know. No one has stopped us yet. Doing it. So it's our bread and butter so far. We keep doing it.
Will Graves, Associated Press.
Juju, Ben talked about the depth at the position, but you seem to be first among equals in the sense of when it's third down, Ben seems to look your way maybe more often than not. I'm just sort of curious as a receiver, do you guys dream about you've had long touchdowns and toe drags and all that stuff, but is there something that you take away from trying to be a guy, you catch a ball 3 yards short of the line and then try to make that happen?
I think of it as, third down gets you paid. As far as you may play the third down, you move the sticks, you give your opposite another chance to get another 3 set of downs, to make plays and to drive into the end zone. So on third down, although we don't want to be in that situation where it's 3rd and long or 3rd and 10, 3rd and 5, I love and I embrace those moments. I'm hoping the ball comes my way. I'm praying the ball comes my way, just because I want to make a play. And that's not just me. I'm pretty sure everybody on the team, they want to make a play for the offense. So for me, how I think it is that you make plays on third down, you get paid.
All right, next up, Brian Batko.
Hey, Juju, I have a real question for you, but first I need to ask, you're playing on your birthday Sunday in Jacksonville. Do you have anything special planned if you get into the end zone?
Nah, I don't know. I might do a birthday cake with the bar. I might do something celebration. I might be lighting a candle. I don't know. We'll see. I think. All right.
Cool. Well, we'll stay tuned for that. But I wanted to ask you, Ray and Deontay and even Deon Kane on the practice squad, 3 Florida guys who go way back, are longtime friends. Have you noticed among those guys that they kind of have a deep connection and they're all pretty tight from their days in Tampa?
Yeah, the Tampa boys is what we call them. Honestly, with them, it's just so fun because they're constantly around each other, like hanging out outside of the practice facility, inside, but they're really cool dudes, man. They're awesome. I love them to death. Ray, he plays behind me, so it's very interesting to be around him and how he is. And like I said, these are all cool cats that I like being around. So, yeah, definitely the Florida boys is what we call them.
Joe Rudder, Trib.
Yeah, Juju. Ben's sacks totals have been down in the last few years. And he has a quick release, and the offensive line gives him time. But is there anything the receivers do to noticeably, him get the ball, keep from being sacked?
Oh, yeah, definitely getting the ball out. We have this thing called Q and HOTS, so if the defense wants to bring an extra man, off the edge, we have to know that if we're running that route, we know that the ball's coming out now. And there's been some games where, we play against teams where, they go completely man across the board and they blitz everybody. And it's just like, we got to make plays, for our guys. And that's something that, we help Ben out too and help out the O-lineman. But at the same time, it's him, being the captain and being the leader of the team and, calling out, certain coverages, certain plays for certain guys. So it makes their job a lot easier.
All right, guys, we have time for 2 more. I'm going to go to Jenna Hartner, WPXI.
JuJu, what is the biggest kind of area of growth you guys want to focus on as an offense, especially this week going up against Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, like I said, any team could beat you at any time. It's the NFL. Everyone has great players, great team. So, we can't take that shortly. But I think for us, we just have to start off fast on offense. We can't play behind. There's been multiple games where we played, we come from behind. We know that we can do that. We know that's possible, but let's have a game where we're not giving our Steelers Nation fans a heart attack. And let's just have a game where we know we can go in and actually, lead an offense, defense side of the ball and take control.
All right, last one. We're going to go to Chris Adamski. Chris?
JuJu, how has your relationship with Ben evolved? He's 15 years older than you, but it seems like you guys click in terms of off the field and respect for each other on the field. Is that something is that important for a receiver to have a good relationship with the quarterback? Did you try to seek that at all when you first came in?
Oh, most definitely, man. You talk about chemistry you built over time. Like I said, Ben's been here for a long period of time. And it's so funny. Here's a quick story. I asked him, I was like, hey, Ben, if you could name, your top 10, top 10 receivers or top 10 guys that you like to go to. And he was like, he said something. He was like, man, yeah, you might be on the fine line to make it top 10. As in a joking way, knowing that I'm top 10. And so, it's just, the funniness on the field and off the field. A lot more so advice, man. I ask him so much stuff off the field, to help me with my personal life and, dealing with stuff that he's, been through years. So it's pretty cool, man. On the field, football, so well. We've been playing since we were kids and, having that connection, chemistry goes a long way.
Cam, 2 things. Do you think this game means a little something to Tyson just because of his history with them? And then the second question is, I asked Ben earlier, if he took exception to Mike T, taking a shot at the MAC, and Ben gave a very funny answer. And I'm just sort of curious, does winning lead to the vibe, or does the vibe lead to winning?
What was your first question?
I'm sorry, it was about Tyson.
I think it's always a big game for Tyson. It's a team you got drafted to. You always want to, win in a good way and, wind up on top when you play a team that you left. And then in regards to Mike T, I just think, when we talk about winning leads to a vibe or a vibe leads to winning, I think it's a little bit of both. I think winning creates the culture, but I think the culture has to keep building on that. You can't just rest on winning one game and say you've done the job. It takes a good group of guys to stay humble and consistent and understand that the job's not done.
Jim Colony, 93.7 The Fan.
Yeah, Cam, I asked Mike Tomlin yesterday about how come these rookies have all been contributing, and he credited you guys, the team leaders, the veterans. What do you remember from what you learned from guys like Kiesel when they were what you are now to the younger guys?
Just being vocal. I think understanding that, you got to be more hands-on. You got to ask them questions. You got to know what they need, and then you can provide that. Understanding that every guy's different, and every guy, might need a little bit extra love or a little bit extra attention going forward. But if you provide that, it sets a good base and a good foundation.
All right, guys, we got time for 3 more. I'm going to go to Brian Batko, Post-Gazette.
Hey, Cam, you guys have this crazy sack streak that's got 66 straight regular season. You're a few away from the record. But the last time you guys didn't get one was against these guys in that playoff game in 2018. I mean, I know schemes change, personnel changes on both sides, but what do you remember about that one, why you just couldn't get home at the end of the day?
We let them stay comfortable in their offense. They were able to run the ball. They were able to control the tempo. And they did. they put their quarterback in harm's way. Whether it was rolling out the quarterback, staying on schedule with your runs, and then being quick and decisive in your approach. So we got to stop the run early to get to that the point where we want to stop, get the sacks and everything, and hopefully we do that on Sunday.
Chris Adamski, Trib.
Cameron, I don't think this is an abstract question, but you're a leader on this team and everything. I wanted to ask about JuJu's place in the hierarchy of maybe the leadership. When he showed up, he was literally a kid that was 20 years old, didn't have a driver's license, but now he's a veteran. Does he have any kind of cachet amongst you guys in terms of being one of those kind of veteran voices now?
I don't think he always says a lot, but I think he lets his play do the talking. He's the veteran guy in that group, and that wide receiver group. He's got the rapport with Ben, and I think his play speaks a lot. He's consistent. He's a guy we can count on. I think when you do that, other guys can ride the wave.
All right, last one. Noah Strackbean, Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Cam. Going into another situation with a strong running back and an experienced quarterback, can you guys take anything away from what you learned in Dallas?
You got to start early. You got to, get off the field as a defense. I think, stopping the run is paramount. You look at how they're constructed and, what they want to do. It's not like, they want to continue to go downfield and have these big plays throwing the ball. They want to just possess the ball. They want to, make your offense feel like they have to be impatient because they're not going to have a lot of chances. But as a defense, we got to get off the field. We got to create the splash, and I think if we do that, we'll be successful.